Welcome to the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence's Lethality Assessment Program website. I'm Charlie Sampson, and in this video we're going to learn how to enter data for domestic violence agencies throughout the state. The first thing we must do is go to the top menu bar here and log in by putting in our user ID and password. Once logged in, once again you'll get the visual cue that you are logged in. Test agency right here, and you'll also be able to see log out to the top right here. Now on the top menu bar we're going to go to data entry to look at our town. A couple things that you must remember: the year defaults to the current year and the month defaults to the current month. Because we are in the beginning of October, and typically at this time we're doing our numbers for September, we're going to need to change our month to September. You also get another visual cue right here of which month you are entering the data for. So, as you can see, we have a number of towns listed to us. Because domestic violence agencies serve numerous towns, you'll also notice in the bottom left-hand corner you have a paging system. This allows you to go between all of the towns that you have data that you need to enter. I'm going to jump back to page 2 here because I've added some numbers and we're going to work from this page. So as you can see, a number of towns have entered data for the month of September. Madison, on the other hand, has not. We know this because of the visual cue of it being highlighted in blue. That means Madison has not put their numbers in for the month of September. There is a report that we can run on a monthly basis which will show us which towns that we control through our domestic violence agency have not entered their information. We'll learn that in another video. So for now, we're going to go in and we're going to enter the data that domestic violence agencies control. That's these purple columns over here. How many officer calls did we receive this month, and how many victims went to service? So if we take Guilford, who had 3 lethality screens, 1 high danger, 1 non-high danger, 1 that did not answer, and 1 that actually spoke to a worker. And we go in and we put our officer calls and our went to service in. We just click on the edit button here to the right. We can either update their numbers, which is a key feature if a domestic violence agency needs to update one of the town's numbers prior to the 15th of the month. To set a timeline on when these numbers have to be done, domestic violence agencies must update their numbers by the 15th of the following month. So for officer calls, we'll say that we received 1 because we had 1 high danger. I jump over to the next box. Number of people who went to service, let's say we had 2 that went to service. And I just click update. And those numbers are done. You will get a visual cue by saying the town's data has been updated successfully. Click OK to come back to your screen. Now we can deal with Hamden. Hamden had 5 screens. 3 of them were high danger, 2 of which were non-high danger. None didn't answer, and 3 spoke to a worker. A key feature of this program when we go in to edit these numbers is if your officer calls turn out to be less than the number of high danger calls. So let's say only 2 officer calls came in. The system is going to give you a visual cue to say, enter an explanation of why the officer call number is less than the high danger number. Include a police case number, then click update or click cancel to re-enter numbers. You will then also see down here at the bottom that you have an explanation page that you can enter the information into on why the officer calls were less. Typically, this is because a party has gone to the hospital or for some other reason that the officer did not get a chance to make contact with the domestic violence agency in regards to this high danger call. We'll use the case of the party went to the hospital, the officer got tied up doing another thing, and didn't get a chance to call you. You can find out from the officer what their case number is so that you can follow up. with that agency to get a copy of the report and the victim's name so that you can follow up. You can type in anything else that you want there for a small explanation. And I'm going to stay out of these two. Just going back here, 2 went to service. I then click update. You'll get your little notice that the town was updated successfully, and you can click OK. Now, if for some reason you do follow up before the 15th of the month here, and you want to go back to Hamden and change the officer calls to be greater than, because you did get the information that you needed, we can change this and update it, and that error message will go away. Now, as you can see, the box at the bottom here has disappeared. So we have no error in regards to the number of officer calls versus the number of high danger calls. I can then continue to update it. My town data was updated successfully, and then I can go on entering the rest of my data for the rest of my towns. And that's it. That's how simple it is in order to do your updating on a monthly basis. Once again, remember, the 15th of the month is the date that is set for domestic violence agencies to update their numbers in regards to the prior month. Thank you.